Hello friends, welcome back to channel NEET Biology Expert. I am Dr. Parveen. In this lecture series, we are studying Class 12 Biology, Genetics. In this particular lesson, we are going to study in detail about genic balance in Drosophila. This chapter is important for NEET syllabus, whereas this is not present in the CBSE or the NCERT book, right? So this is present in the State Board book. Since the question will come from this topic, let's discuss this. Let's get started. An American scientist called Calvin Blackman Bridges, in short we call him CB Bridges. He was the one who first discovered a mechanism that is called genic balance of sex determination in Drosophila. So this gentleman is CB Bridges, and his theory is called as genic balance theory of Bridges. It was proposed in the year 1921. Right. See, normally we know that in the organisms in the mammals, the sex is determined by a type of chromosomes called sex chromosomes. The chromosomes are of two types. Let's say, suppose this is a cell. In this cell, we could see inside the nucleus, these small structures, they are called chromosomes. The chromosomes are of two types, autosomes and allosomes. So what are autosomes? The chromosomes which determine the characters of an organism apart from the sexual characters. That means the bodily characters, how our eyes, ears, other organs functions, it structure, shapes. So all these characters are controlled by some group of chromosomes. They are called as autosomes. That is body chromosomes. Body chromosomes. On the other hand, we have sex chromosomes. That means the chromosomes which particularly controls only the sexual characters of an organism. It determines the sex of the organism. They are called as allosomes or sex chromosomes. Okay. So we know that in the mammals, Y chromosome determines the gender of an organism. So for example, in human beings, we have 46 number of chromosomes in one cell, right? So out of this 46 chromosomes, 44 chromosomes are called as autosomes, which determine the body characters of a human being, and 2 chromosomes are called as allosomes, which determines the sex of the human being, right? So here the Y chromosome determines the gender. So how do we say this? Suppose if the combination of the chromosome is X and Y, this will be a male. If the combination of the sex chromosome is X and X, this will be a female. So here the Y chromosome determines whether this will be a male or a female. So this is in human beings. And similarly, same thing occurs in all the mammals, where there is a small difference in the sex determination in Drosophila. Right. So what happens here? In Drosophila, the gene for the female character or the femaleness is located on the X chromosome, whereas the gene for the male characters, they are located not on the Y chromosomes but on the autosomes. They are present on the autosomes. Just now we have seen autosomes are the chromosomes responsible for body characters. Apart from the sex characters, autosomes are responsible, whereas in Drosophila, autosomes are responsible for the male character. Okay. So here in Drosophila, the Y chromosome does not determine the male sex. This is important. So that doesn't mean that Y chromosome is not present in the Drosophila. It is present. It is also essential. Why? Because the Y chromosome is essential for the fertility of the male sex. What do you mean by fertility? In order to reproduce, the organism have to produce sperms, have to make sperms, right? So the Y chromosome contains the genes. They are active in forming sperms in case of the adult Drosophila. So any Drosophila without the Y chromosome, they will be sterile. So what do you mean by sterile? Sterile means they could not able to reproduce because they are not producing any sperms. Okay. So what we are understanding here is Drosophila, Y chromosomes are present, but they do not determine the sex as male. So how sex is determined? They are determined by some genes present on the autosomes. Okay, right? So look here, generally in mammals, if XX chromosomes are present, it determines the female character. If XY chromosomes are present, it determines the maleness. But this is not true in case of Drosophila. Then how the gender is determined in Drosophila? Let's understand that. So here, in each Drosophila, the sex is determined by a balance between the genes on the autosomes and the genes on the X chromosome. So we have seen in any organisms, there are two groups of chromosomes, autosomes and sex chromosomes, right? So here in the Drosophila also, they have such thing. So totally Drosophila has 4 pairs of chromosomes. That means 8 chromosomes. So out of this 8 chromosomes, 6 chromosomes, that is 3 pairs are called as autochromosomes, and 2 chromosomes, 1 pair is called as sex chromosome. Okay, so in this 1 pair only it will be X and Y, whereas others will be autosomes. So here in the Drosophila, the sex is determined by some balance occurring between the set of the autosomes and the number of the X chromosome present in the Drosophila. So this phenomena or this concept is called as genic balance in Drosophila. So we already know that this organism, fruit fly, that is Drosophila, is a very good research model to study genetics. That's why many scientists, they use Drosophila starting from T.H. Morgan, right? So here in this Drosophila, why it is very much important to study genetics? Because it has less number of the chromosomes, and particularly the XY chromosome which is present in the Drosophila, they behave or they look similar like the human chromosomes. Okay, that's why it's a very good model to study for the genetics researchers. Okay, so accordingly, C.B. Bridges, he also chose Drosophila for his research experiments. So here, before moving on into what C.B. Bridges did in his research work, let us understand few important concepts that is called ploidy. What is ploidy? Ploidy is the set of the chromosomes present on a cell. Okay, see, look here, suppose if this is a cell having chromosomes, okay, so this is called as one set of the chromosome in a cell. How many number of autosomes and how many number of sex chromosomes present? This together is called as one set of chromosome. If it is one, we call this as haploidy. Haploid number of chromosomes. Okay, similarly, if it is 2, this is called as diploidy or diploid number of chromosomes. So diploid means what? Having 2 set of chromosomes. That means 2 copies of the genes. If an offspring is having a diploid, say for example, human beings, we are having diploid chromosomes. We get 1 set of the chromosomes from the father and 1 set from the mother. So as a result, the baby will have the diploid chromosomes, right? So in this diploid condition, if we talk about the sex chromosomes only, if the organism is having XX, it determines the female character. If the organism is having XY, it determines the male character. As I told you already, the Drosophila XY male also behaves same like human beings. So whatever we are talking about human beings is also applicable to Drosophila, vice versa. Okay, so here we are talking about Drosophila. So in Drosophila, naturally, the chromosome is diploid in an organism. If it is XX, it will be a female. If it is XY, it will be a male organism. In some conditions, it will be triploidy. What is triploidy? Triploidy means having 3 sets of chromosomes. That means 1 set of chromosome will be extra. Either it would have come from the father or from the mother. That is extra. Okay. So in such condition, what will be the sex chromosome status? In triploidy, if there will be triple X, XXX means it will result in the female fruit fly. Whereas if the zygote is having XXY or XYY, look here, 1Y or double Y. Okay, this is also triploidy, this is also triploidy. So in such condition, we could not say that this will be male. This is not male. We can say that since it has XY, here also one XY is present, we can very much say it is a male organism. No, not like that. So in this case, this will not be a male. Okay, so there is a difference in this Drosophila. So this triploidy is an abnormal condition which also occur in the human beings. Just you remember this. Okay, so triploidy is an abnormal condition. Diploidy is a normal condition in the Drosophila. Now let us move on to C.B. Bridges' experiment. Bridges did several different combinations of Drosophila. Okay, so one of his combination was he took a triploid female Drosophila fly and he crossed this with a diploid male fly. Okay, so here you must understand diploid male. This symbol is male, right? So diploid male is a normal condition. This is a normal fly. Why? So look here, it has 2 sets of autosomes. That's why we call this as a diploid, and the sex chromosome is XY combination. So that's why this is a male. Okay, so this is a normal diploid male. He took a normal diploid male and he crossed this with a triploid female. So what do you mean by triploid here? Triploid means 3 sets of autosomes. So here written 3A, 3 sets of autosomes plus XXX. That means this is a female. Okay, since it is 3 autosome, this is triploid. Since it is triple X, this is a female. So this is the parental generation. Understand? Got it? This also we can write in another form, AAA. That means a triple A plus XXX. This is a triploid female. And here we can write this as AA double A2A plus XY male. This is the parent. Okay. Now let us see what type of gametes this parent will produce. So first let us see the male. During gametogenesis, what will happen? Meiotic, that means reduction cell division will occur. So as a result, the autosomes and the sex chromosomes are equally divided and distributed to the offsprings. So accordingly, in this normal diploid male, look at this gamete. These two types of gametes will be formed. So how? From this 2A, 1A is gone to this gamete and another A is gone to this gamete. Okay. From this X and Y, one X is given to this gamete and another is to this gamete. So accordingly, A plus X is one gamete, A plus Y is another gamete. This is a normal gamete for this diploid male. Whereas on the other hand, look at the left side here, the triploid female, which is an abnormal female. What types of gametes this female produces? It produces 4 different types of gametes. Okay. So these are the different combinations of the gametes. So here it has 3 autosomes. Okay. So either 2 autosomes will come in one gamete and 2 X chromosome will come. This is one combination. Or either 2 autosomes will be present in one gamete or 1 X chromosome will be present. What about the other chromosome? It will be 0 or absent. Okay. This is another combination. And 1 set of autosome will be present and 2 X chromosome will be present, or 1 set of autosome and 1 set of sex chromosome will be present. Okay. See here. So which is the normal gamete here? This is the normal gamete. This is the normal gamete here, like this one. Okay. Understand? So these are the 4 different types of the gametes produced by this triploid female. Now, let us see in what combinations, if these gametes fuse, what will be the offsprings produced. Okay. So let us understand that using this table. Okay. So look at this table. In this table, these are the gametes. So we have seen this is the triploid female which produces 4 different types of gametes. This is the normal diploid male which produces these 2 type of gametes. So let us put the combination and see what are the different combinations in which the offsprings will be produced. So the first combination, if the 2 autosomes of this female gamete combines with this 1 autosome of the male gamete, then the offspring will have 3 autosomes. And this 2 X chromosome of the female combines with 1 X chromosome of the male, then the offspring will have XXX 3X. Okay, this we call as a triploid female. Got it? Now, the second combination, if this 2 autosomes of this gamete fuses with the 1 autosome of this male gamete, it will result in 3 autosome offspring. Similarly, 1 X chromosome fuses with another X, 2 X chromosomes will be present in the offsprings. This we call as triploid intersex. Now, don't worry about this terminology. Okay, why we are calling like this? Just remember how the offsprings, when we are putting combinations for these gametes, how the offsprings are arriving. Just remember and watch this, observe this. Okay, so I will explain you after few slides later. So why we are giving these names for these things. Okay, right. Now, the third combination, if 1 autosome of this gamete combines with 1 autosome of this male gamete, then the offsprings will have 2 autosomes. Similarly, 2X combines with this X, it produces triple X. And this offspring is called as super female. Got it? And the fourth options are, if 1 autosomes of this female gamete combines with the another autosome of male gamete, it will be having 2 autosomes in the offspring. Similarly, this X combines with this X and produces XX. This will be a diploid female. So these are the female combinations of offsprings in this fusion. Okay. Next, the other combination is, suppose if the A plus Y of the male combines with these 4 gametes, how the offsprings will be produced. Okay. In the first combination, the 2 autosomes plus 1 autosome of the male combines and produce 3 autosomes, and 2 X chromosome of the female combines with the Y and produces XXY. This we call as triploid intersex. And the next combination, 2 autosome of the female and 1 autosome of the male gives 3 autosomes in the offspring. Similarly, the X and Y combines and produces XY. This will be a super male. And third combination, one autosome of the female combines with the another autosome of the male and produces 2A, two autosomes, and 2X chromosome of the female combines with the Y chromosome of the male and produces XXY. So this is called as diploid female. And the last combination, one autosome of this gamete female and another autosome of this male gamete combines to form two autosomes in the offspring. Similarly, this X and Y combines together and form XY. This organism will be a diploid male. Got it? Now, so these are the 8 different combinations in which the offsprings are produced when CB bridges cross a triploid female with a diploid male. Okay. So in this you see here 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 female offsprings are produced and 2 male offsprings are produced, and these 2 are intersex. What do you mean by intersex? It is neither a female nor a male, in between a female and a male. So this is called as intersex. So from his result findings, Bridges suggested that the sex in Drosophila is determined by balance between the genes for the femaleness located on the X chromosome and for the maleness located on the autosomes. Okay. So I told you the male character is determined by some genes present on the autosomes, not on the Y chromosomes. Okay. So accordingly, his results finding shows that whether a Drosophila is male or a female, how it is determined? It is determined by some balance occurs between the number of X chromosomes and the set of autosomes present in this Drosophila. Okay. So how this is occurring exactly? So in order to calculate that, we have something called sex index ratio. So this is given by Bridges. So what is this ratio? This is done using a formula. That means sex index is equal to the number of X chromosome, that is X, okay, the number of X chromosome divided by the number of set of autosomes in this organism. Got it? So in order to know whether a Drosophila is a male or a female, okay, so how do you calculate it? Just take the number of X chromosome present on the Drosophila, divide it by the number of the set of the autosomes present on that. So you will get one number, no? So this number will determine whether the organism is a male, female or an intersex. Okay. So this is called as sex index ratio. So what is sex index? The sex of an individual here means Drosophila. The sex of an individual is determined by the ratio of its X chromosome to that of the autosomal sets. Okay. Here, any change in this ratio leads to a changed sex phenotype. If the ratio varies accordingly, the phenotype or the sex of the organism also varies. So this ratio is called as sex index ratio. So how to calculate that? We have a formula here, X divided by A. Okay. So the results obtained by Bridges experiments also show this. So let us understand how he determined this. Okay. Look here, this is the XA ratio controlling the sex in the Drosophila. So we make here as a table X bar A ratio. This is one ratio and this is the sex. Okay. So for example, in any Drosophila, if the X bar A ratio, that means sex index ratio, comes 1. Okay. So when you divide the number of the X chromosome by set of the autosomes, if the answer comes as 1, then this is a normal female fly. Okay. Got it? If the ratio is more than 1, then this is called a super female or meta female. Both are same, super female or meta female. Right. If the sex index ratio is 0.5, then the organism will be a normal male. Got it? If the ratio is less than 0.5, then that organism is called a super male or a meta male. Okay. Suppose if the ratio is in between 0.5 to 1, then the organism is neither a male nor a female. It is an intersex. Okay. So see here, this sex index ratio is very important. If it is coming as 1, this organism will be a normal female, right? So if it is coming as 0.5, this organism will be a normal male. If it is more than 1, this will be a super female, and this is less than 5, this will be a super male. So any organism sex index ratio is coming in between 0.5 to 1, that means 0.6, 0.7, 0.8, 0.9, then this is called as intersex. Okay. So this is how Bridges calculated the sex determination in the Drosophila. Okay. So here you must understand something here. The normal female and the normal male only produce good offsprings. Okay. Intersex means what? They are in between male and female. So they will not produce offsprings. They will be sterile. That means they are not fertile. Got it? And what do you mean by super male and super female? Super male and super female also they are sterile. They are also sterile. They are very weak organisms. Very weak organisms. Though it is named as super male and super female, we should not think that they will produce good sperm or good eggs like this. Okay. They are sterile. They do not have the ability to reproduce like intersex. Okay. So only normal male and normal female could able to produce the offsprings. Now, look at this table. I told you previously this thing, right? So how these names are given for this organism. So this is based upon the XA ratio. Okay. So when you put the sex index ratio for an organism, how much it comes accordingly, it is named. See, for example, if the sex index ratio is 1, so this is a normal diploid female. So accordingly here it is written as diploid female, it is written as diploid female. So if the sex index ratio is 0.5, this will be a normal male, that is diploid male, that is arrived here. Okay. So let us see how this table is exactly formed. Okay. So for this, you have a table like this in your Tamil Nadu textbook. Okay. So see here what this table denotes. It denotes the different doses of X chromosomes and autosomal sets and their effects on the sex determination in Drosophila. So we know that in the Drosophila, the sex is determined by the number of the X chromosome and how many sets of autosomes present. So to calculate that only, we are using the sex index formula. Sex index means the number of X chromosome divided by number of autosomal sets. Okay. So see here in this table, first they have given phenotype. Phenotype means how the external appearance of the organism will be. Whether it is a meta female or a super female, or whether it is a normal female. Normal female means if it is a tetroid, triploid, diploid, haploid, like this ploidy condition, whether it is an intersex, normal male or a super male or a super female. This is given as a phenotype characters. Okay. And here this table denotes the number of the X chromosome. How many number of X chromosomes present in any organism and number of autosomal sets. Okay. So when you divide this, how much you will get? Accordingly, this is your sex index ratio. Got it? Now, let us understand this using a comparison. That means this is the result what Bridges got in his experiment. Got it? So how he determined the sex of an organism using this sex index ratio. So let us see one by one. See, for example, here, an organism with the gamete, when these two gametes fuses, if an organism contains 2 autosomes and 2 X chromosome, this organism is determined to be a diploid female. How? To calculate that, we need this sex index ratio, right? So, look here, how many X chromosomes are present in this organism? 2 X chromosome. Okay, so that's why it is written 2. How many autosomes are present in this organism? 2 autosomes. Diploid condition, right? Diploid condition, 2 autosomes. So, apply the formula. X divided by 8. So, accordingly, 2 divided by 2. What is the answer? 1. So, we know that if the sex index ratio is 1, that organism is a female, normal diploid female. So, accordingly, this organism is a diploid female. Got it? Right. The second offspring. See here. Here, this offspring is a diploid female. Okay, look here. How many autosomes are present here? 2 autosomes. That's why it is written as 2. How many sex chromosomes, that is X chromosomes, are present here? XX. So, 2. So, apply the formula. 2 divided by 2, 1. So, again, this organism, the sex index ratio is 1. Since it is 1, it belongs to a diploid female category. Got it? Now, you have a doubt here. Look here. Here, when the organism is having XX also, you are telling as a female. Here, the organism is having XXY. One extra Y is also there. In that time also, you are telling now as a female. How, ma'am? You have a doubt, right? See, look at this formula of the sex index. In this sex index formula, you have to take the number of the X chromosome present on the individual, not the Y chromosome. Okay. So, accordingly, in this female, just take the X chromosome. How many X chromosomes are present? 2. Forget the Y chromosome. You should not take because it is not coming in the formula. So, 2 X chromosome. So, 2 by 2, 1. Got it? So, that's why it is a diploid female. Then, the third option here. Look here. If the organism is a triploid female, how do we say this as a triploid female? Here, it is having 3 autosomes. So see here, number of autosomes, sex is 3. How many number of X chromosomes? 3 X chromosomes. So 3 divided by 3, again 1. Since it is 1, this is also called as a female. Now, we call this as a triploid female. Why? In previous, we call this as a diploid female. That is depending upon the number of the autosomal sets present. Since it has 2 sets of autosomes, we call this as a diploid female. Since it has 3 sets of autosomes, we call this as a triploid female. Got it? Okay. So here in this table, they did not mention any tetraploidy or a haploidy condition in this table. Why? Because when Bridges did his experiment, he took only triploid female and crossed it with a diploid male. So he didn't get any tetraploid or a haploid condition. Suppose if a tetraploid or a haploid condition is also present, here the sex index ratio will be again 1. How? See, if the number of the autosomal sets it's 4, that means if it is a tetraploidy, okay. Also, if the number of the sex chromosome, that is X chromosome, is also 4, okay. See here, 4 sets of autosome and 4 X chromosomes, suppose if present, 4 divided by 4, 1. Similarly, very rare condition, if the autosome set is 1 and similarly only 1 X chromosome is present, okay. So again 1 divided by 1, 1. So what you must understand here is, in order to have a female Drosophila, a normal female Drosophila, okay. So whatever be the number of ploidy, whether it is tetra, triploid, diploid or haploid, okay. So when the sex index ratio comes as 1, then the organism will be a normal female, okay. So here the sex index ratio 1 means normal female. Got it? So now let us see the other conditions, how the super female and males are produced, okay. So look here, this is a super female. This offspring is a super female. So here, how many number of X chromosomes are present? 3 X chromosomes are present. How many number of autosomal sets? 2. So apply the formula, 3 divided by 2, it is coming 1.4, that is more than 1. Okay, so 1 means female, more than 1 means, that means 1.5, like this means it is a super female. So accordingly, this organism is a super female. And the next combination, here, this one. So here it is written as a diploid male. So how this comes? How many chromosomes, X chromosomes are present in this? Only 1 X chromosome, okay? Because see here it is XY. So accordingly, only 1 X chromosome is present, another is Y. So 1 X chromosome. How many set of autosomes are present? 2 sets of autosomes. So divide 1 divided by 2, it is 0.5. So 0.5 means this is a normal diploid male. Got it? And the other one is super male. How do we say this as a super male? So see here, how many X chromosome are present here? 1 X chromosome. How many autosomal sets are present here? 3 autosomal sets. So 1 divided by 3, 0.33. So anything less than 0.5, this is called as a super male. So accordingly, this organism will be a super male. And the last combination is intersex. So how this intersex are determined? Okay. So look here. Look here. So how many X chromosomes are present in this? 2 X chromosomes. So it is written 2 X chromosome. How many autosomes are present? 3 sets of autosomes. So 3. So 2 divided by 3, 0.67. 0.67 is a in-between range. That means it is neither 0.5 nor 1, in between, 0.67. So this organism is an intersex. So similarly here, look at this one. How many X chromosomes are present here? 2 X chromosomes. So 2. How many autosomes are present? 3 sets of autosomes. 3. So again 2 divided by 3, 0.6. Look here. Here, though it is having XXY chromosome, and here this is having only XX chromosome, both are called as intersex. Okay. How? Because by applying the formula, it is falling under this in-between range. Neither 1 nor 0.5, 0.67. That's why we call this as an intersex. Got it? So this is how C.B. Bridges, he applied this sex index formula and he determined the sex of these 8 organisms as male or female or super male or super female or intersex, like this. Okay. Now we have a very important question. Is that just by applying this formula we say like this organisms belongs to male or super male? No. There is another important biological concept behind this sex index formula. That is called as sex lethal gene. That means the X is to A ratio is converted into a molecular signal by sex lethal gene. So what is this concept? So here comes an important thing called sex switch gene. What is the sex switch gene? Okay. So to understand this, first see, we know that in Drosophila, the Y chromosome do not determine male character. Do not determine male character. So where this male character is present, they are present on autosomes, right? We have seen this autosomes, right? So Y chromosomes do not determine the male sex characters. The male characters are located on the autosomes. But here there is a gene which is present on the X chromosome of this Drosophila that is called as sex lethal gene. Very, very, very important. Sex lethal gene. In short form, we call this as SXL. Sex lethal genes. So where is this gene present? This gene is present on the X chromosome. This gene is present in two states. That means conditions. Okay. So when this sex lethal gene is on, that means when it is in active condition, then the organism will develop into a female fly. When this gene is in inactive or in the off mode, then the organism will develop into a male fly. So what is this? Let us understand using this picture much better. Okay. So see here, this is an X chromosome present in the Drosophila. So in this X chromosome, there is a region where the sex lethal gene is present. Okay. So sex lethal gene is present on the X chromosome. And what is this blue one? This is an autosome. Autosome present in the Drosophila. So in the autosome, what is present? The autosome contains the gene which determines the male character, maleness gene. So the autosome with the male character genes. So these two genes present in the two different chromosomes. Now the first option is if the sex lethal gene present on the X chromosome is in the on mode. That means when it is expressed. So what is the product of the gene? Any gene codes for protein, right? So this sex lethal gene produces a protein which comes and binds and inhibits the expression of the male region on the autosome. Okay, it suppresses or it stops the expression of the male region on the autosomes. So as a result, the male character is not expressed. So the Drosophila will be a female fly. Got it? Then the another chance is if the sex lethal gene present on the X chromosome is in off stage. Off means when it is not active. Okay, so it will not produces a particular protein which will not go and stop the activity of the X determining region in the autosome. So as a result, the male character is expressed so that the organism will be a male phenotype. Okay, understand? So what you totally got from these points here, though in Drosophila, Y chromosome do not determine the sex of the organism as a male. The autosome contains a particular gene which determines the organism to be a male or not. However, there is another gene present on the X chromosome which is called as the master gene. That's why we call this as a sex switch gene. So when this sex switch gene is on in the X chromosome, it produces a protein which go and suppresses this male gene. As a result, the organism will be a female. When this sex lethal gene is in off condition, it will not suppress the male character present on the autosomes. As a result, the organism will be a male phenotype. Got it? So this is a peculiar type of sex determination which is present in Drosophila, which was discovered by Bridges. So let us see this table again to understand better how the sex is determined in the Drosophila. So look at this condition here. Here we are saying if the organism is having XXY, then also it is a female. If the organism is having only XX, then also it is a female. How? See, normally when it is having XX chromosome, it is a female. We know that. Though it is having Y chromosome, why can't it be a male? Why we are saying this as a female? So when we put the sex index ratio, this organism is showing 1. So that's why we call this as a diploid female. Not only the sex ratio. This sex lethal gene has an important role in this. Using the sex lethal gene, only the sex ratio was determined. Okay. So see here, for example, here in this combination, XXY is present, right? That means the X chromosome is present double. That means this X chromosome has two sex lethal genes. One X chromosome has one and another chromosome is having another. Okay. So this two X lethal gene produces the proteins which go and suppresses the two autosomes, two sets of the autosomes, not to express the male character. So as a result, the male character is not expressed. That's why though it has Y chromosome, this organism remains as a female. Got it? So this is one important point. So look at this example here. Here, this organism is having X chromosome and Y chromosome. So why we are saying this has a super male, not just male? Because this X chromosome contains the sex lethal gene which go and suppresses, okay, which go and suppresses the autosomal male character. Since the X chromosome is only one, it produces little amount of that protein. Okay, so it also has Y chromosome and also has 3 sets of autosomes. So only this little amount of proteins produced by the sex lethal gene is not enough to suppress the male character. So as a result, the male character is expressed. So that's why we call this as super male. Okay, and see here, we are telling this as intersex. Why this is an intersex? Because here this organism is having 2 X chromosome which produces the sex lethal genes. So automatically they go and suppress this autosomes. How many sets of autosomes are there here? 3 sets of autosomes, right? So here only 2 X chromosomes are there. So this is not enough to go and suppress all the autosomal genes. Okay. So only half of the autosomal genes will be suppressed. The other will be expressed. Also, it has Y chromosomes. So both now X and Y will be expressed. That means male and female characters will be expressed. That's why this is called as intersex. Got it? So this is how the sex is determined in the Drosophila. In order to conclude, so we understood from this lecture that not just Y chromosome determines the male character in Drosophila. Apart from that, the autosomes are responsible to determine the male characters in the Drosophila. Okay, but Y chromosome is also essential in order to produce these sperms. Okay, so here, though the autosomes contains the genes for the male character, the autosomes are controlled by sex-linked genes or sex-lethal genes which are present on the X chromosome. So when this X chromosome gene is expressed, it controls the autosomal Y character gene so that the male character is suppressed. So how many number of X chromosomes are present, that much amount of sex lethal genes are expressed. So accordingly, the organism will be a female. Got it? So if the X chromosome sex lethal genes are not expressed, then the autosome expresses its male character, then the organism will be a male. So this we can determine by a ratio called X by A ratio. Okay, so this is the experiment done by C.B. Bridges. So I hope you understand this lecture. If you like this lesson, like, comment, share and subscribe to our channel NEET Biology Expert. Thank you.